I usually only include glitches that were witnessed by another person, because our minds can play tricks on us. So maybe that's what this was. But if so, it's never happened before. It happened last night, so I'm going to write about it here while it's still fresh. So, my dog only barks if there's someone outside. A person, a vehicle, or probably even an animal in the yard will make him bark. I'm not sure if he barks at animals because there shouldn't be any besides the occasional cat. Last night, he kept barking, and every time I would get up to check and found nothing but darkness. 90% of the time, if my dog barks, the reason is obvious. The other 10% I just assume I missed in the time it takes me to get up and look out the window. It was so dark, so I assumed I kept missing whatever he was barking at. It must have been a noise as opposed to something we could see, so I didn't think much of it, besides being mildly annoyed. I stay up late, usually going to bed between 1 and 2 in the morning, and rarely before 12:30. This event occurred a little bit before midnight, let's say 11:45, so I wasn't tired yet, but there was no one else awake to bear witness to the strangeness. I am a night owl, and last night so was my dog. Usually, he just sleeps in his crate. The third or fourth time he barked, I got up quickly and ran to the kitchen window to see if I could catch whatever it was. I was curious. I thought the neighbors' kids were up late and being mischievous, and I guess I just wanted another reason to not like them or something. But it wasn't them. I got this heavy kind of feeling like you get when something's watching you and things are not okay. I had to tell myself, you're in the kitchen, it's safe, so stop freaking out over nothing. But my inner child wanted to go hide under the bed before I got abducted by aliens or something. This is not a normal feeling for me to have in my own house. It's not a spooky place. From the window, I could see a small set of headlights, but not regular bright ones. They were coming down the street slowly towards our house. They were very close together, maybe about 2 feet apart, and orange. I thought it was a golf cart or something, but it stopped in front of the neighbor's house and someone got out. The vehicle appeared to be a regular-sized truck, so I thought maybe the running lights were oddly positioned or they'd added an aftermarket kit or something. Still, very possible. They didn't walk around. They just stood there behind the door to the vehicle for at least 2 to 3 minutes. I didn't see the light from a phone screen or anything. It seemed very suspicious. There was nothing I could think of that would make them stop there. No trash left for collection, no driveway, no mailbox. There's usually a streetlight there, but it was out. I opened the fridge and pretended to get some water because I was getting paranoid that they were up to no good and would see me watching them. Finally, the person got back into the truck and began to drive off. I didn't hear their door shut like I normally would, but they were probably trying to be quiet. Nothing that abnormal so far, but a little sketchy. And no, I don't think they stopped for a discreet pee because the road dead ends a short way past our house, and they were coming from that direction, meaning they had probably just left a place with a restroom. And I think usually if a dude stops to pee by hiding behind the door of an open vehicle, he'll go in the grass on the side of the road, not in the middle of the road where this guy was standing. They backed up, then turned like they were about to go down the road that intersects with ours. They turned on their actual headlights for a moment, which did look like a regular car, not tiny or orange, but then they shined through the neighbor's house, which is impossible. I thought maybe it was some kind of trick caused by reflections in the window in the dark, and maybe it was, but the next part I simply cannot explain. The 2 orange lights then reappeared in the same spot as where the truck had been parked. While I was trying to wrap my brain around that, they disappeared. Not faded out, not changed directions. They completely freaking disappeared. Little by little, like the light was disintegrating. Like if you were turning a dimmer switch on an electronic fire or something. Little bits of orange light just began to flicker and fade until the entire truck was gone. It was hard to describe. Little bits of the orange light just dropped out of existence until there were none left. Like pulling out all the pegs of a light bright or something. Right as it disappeared, another car pulled onto the road from the opposite direction, clearly illuminating the area. There was no truck, and there should have been. Where could it have gone? I ran through the possible scenarios in my head, blaming most of it on the dark and not being able to fully see what I was looking at. But headlights don't just go out like dying flames, and trucks don't just disappear when you shine a light on them. The part I can't figure out, there was nowhere it could have gone except into a driveway at the end of the road, which was too far away for it to have gotten to it that quickly, and I would have been able to see it do that. I guess if enough of you read this, I can try to take photos to show where it was parked, but I don't think they're necessary, or I would have done it already. I decided the only reasonable conclusion, aside from it being unexplained or glitch, was that I needed to go to bed early last night. So I did. And I lay there awake for 45 minutes before giving up and resuming my previous tasks. I was drawing for about 30 more minutes, and then I went to sleep for real. So I don't think my eyes were playing tricks on me due to lack of sleep. If that had been the case, surely I would have fallen asleep shortly after I tried going to bed. This happened to me about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, and to this day I still can't quite say what happened. I was in my room and browsing on the internet while I had a head of garlic roasting in the toaster oven in the kitchen. Then I heard my dad come inside, so I figured I could kill two birds with one stone and say hi to my dad while I went to check on my garlic. I walked out of my room and caught my dad halfway down the hall. I said hi and something along the lines of, "Hey, gotta go check on my garlic." My dad simply replied with a quick hi and walked straight into his room. I didn't think much of it and just figured he had a long day at work. It should be noted that our hallway is narrow and my dad is much bigger than me, so I passed my dad in the hallway. I had to press myself against the wall to squeeze past him. While I was in the kitchen, I heard the front door open. My dad's car started and he left, which I thought was super odd, since he hadn't been home for but a few minutes at this point. Again, I brushed it off and went back to my room. About 5 minutes later, could have been sooner to be honest, the front door opened again, and it was my dad. Except, this time he was loud and energetic. He came in and immediately hollered, "Is someone cooking something? It smells good." I came out of my room and said, "Yeah, it's the garlic, remember?" And that's when he asked me what I meant when I said, "Doesn't he remember?" I explained to him that he had just been home and told him about the garlic when I passed him in the hallway, that I had just seen him a few minutes ago and he had walked straight into his room. His demeanor immediately changed, and he said, "What do you mean? I just got off the highway and pulled into the driveway just now. Are you telling me someone went into my room?" I told him that I saw him go into his room. At this point, he was dead serious and went to his room to check for any missing items. At this point, he was under the belief that a home invader had come in and rummaged around his room. Once he was calm, I explained to him exactly what had happened, and even explained that the person I saw was even wearing the exact outfit my dad was when he walked into the house. My dad was about as spooked as I was. To this day, I still have no idea what happened there. At one point we thought that maybe my dad had an absence spell or something, since he's had times before where he's been driving and forgets chunks of time, although we couldn't explain then why he came in and then immediately left again, or how it was that my dad clearly remembered just coming off the highway before getting into the house, or where he could have gone in a few brief moments between when he first left and then arrived again. And to this day, the one part that still really creeps me out is just how close I had been to my father when I slipped past him in the hallway. If anyone has any ideas of what might have happened that night, I'm all ears. This has happened to me twice over the last few days. I'm traveling abroad and am currently living in a very small room. Due to my location, I had to buy a hotspot puck and a new SIM card for the area. I took my old SIM out, put it in the box that the new SIM came in, and put the box in a set of drawers. Day to day, I keep the new SIM in my phone, but when I need a hotspot, I take it out and put it in the puck. In order to remove the SIM from either device, you need to use this tiny tool that pushes a button in a small hole to release the SIM tray. Occurrence 1, I can't find the tool. I always swap the SIM while sitting on my bed and put it back on my desk, but I can't find it. I tore the room apart, specifically the bed, took all the sheets off and shook them out, pulled the bed out, looked all around it with the flashlight, everything. I gave up. I used a needle to swap the SIM and eventually went to bed. The next day, I'm on the phone talking to my girlfriend about it. I put my hand down on the bed, and the tool is under my hand. I couldn't explain it. There's no way that this little thing would not have fallen off when I shook the sheets off, then remade the bed and slept in it. Occurrence 2, I was just about to leave my room for the day today, and something in my head said to make sure my old SIM is still where I put it. Sure enough, it's gone. I checked everywhere, again, pulled the room apart, looked in every single thing I own, pulled all the furniture out, pulled every drawer, and went through every single thing in them. I got irritated, left for an hour, came back and did it again. Nothing. I left and came back 8 hours later, same thing again, and found nothing. Eventually, I gave up and contacted Verizon, and had to have my girlfriend call and send a new SIM out, so I'll have service when I come home. I gave up on it. 3 hours later, I'm getting ready for bed, just about to fall asleep, and out of nowhere, something tells me I need to check inside this other small box I have in the drawer where the box the SIM should be was. I get up, look in the drawer, pick up a notebook that was on top of the random box, and the SIM is sitting on the lid, not even inside. I had picked up both that notebook and the box multiple times and looked through them. I opened the lid on the box already and looked inside. It's a plastic SIM on a cardboard box. It's not like it could have stuck. It makes absolutely no sense. It's just not possible that it was there the whole time. No one else has access to my room. The room is very small and there isn't much in it. These situations have honestly freaked me out a bit. Happening once I can brush off, but twice in about a week is just pretty odd. I can't come up with a logical reason that my SIM could have been out of that box after however many times I pulled everything out of that drawer and inspected it. A month ago, I was sitting on the edge of my bed while looking at my phone. My son came into the room with our short-haired cat, cradled in his arms. I put my phone beside me flat on the bed. My son put the cat in my arms and walked away to go sort his Legos. While I'm still cradling the kitty, I shift him to one side to pick my phone back up. The cat always gets annoyed when I look at my phone while holding him. He swatted at the screen for a few seconds until I got annoyed and put the phone next to me again. I cuddle the kitty while still sitting at the edge of my bed. After about 30 seconds, he decides he wants down and wiggles out of my hold. He crosses my lap and sits next to my phone. Now that both of my arms were free, I turned and picked up my phone. I held it with both hands and rested my elbows on my thighs, making me hunch over a bit. But I'm relaxed. The kitty sees me on my phone and climbs on my lap and leans against me. Instinctually, I wrap my arm around him while still holding my phone in my right hand. Then, I feel something small in the center of my palm while still holding my phone in that hand. I feel the small thing roll out of my palm in between my two fingers. As it falls, it hits the top of my foot and I hear whatever it is softly drop onto the carpet. My bed is raised high, and I'm so short that my feet dangle 2 feet from the floor while sitting on the edge of my bed. I was really puzzled in that moment by that feeling. Still holding the phone flat in my palm, I lean forward and look down to see what it was. I see a red Lego brick. I called my son back in the room, I'm still holding my needy cat, and tell him the freaky thing that just happened. He looked down and saw the brick and was wondering how it ended up there. He'd not opened his Legos until after he brought the cat to me because the cat likes to jump into the Legos. There's no way the cat transferred the brick into my palm without me noticing. And there's no way that the brick had been stuck to my phone at all either, as I had laid my phone down flat on the bed. I distinctly felt the brick pop into my palm under my phone and then roll between my fingers. It hit my foot, and when I heard it land, I looked down. This all happened in a second. I joked that my parallel universe son must be looking for his Lego now. Hello everyone. This is kind of hard to describe in text, but I will try to paint a picture of what my glitch experience was. If you need a visual, go to Google Earth, look up Bitney Springs in Nevada City, California, view Rough and Ready that connects to Bitney Springs Road. A little further up, beyond a bridge, there is Newton Road that brings you up the mountain to Highway 49. Usually taking this route to 49, you would go down R&R Highway, turn right into Bitney Springs, pass the spring, go a few miles, turn right onto Newton Road, which brings you all the way up to the 49. It's very simple. No circular road that brings you around to Rough and Ready. So I was in my car, driving down Rough and Ready Highway. I come to the stop sign to turn right onto Bitney Springs Road. I turn right, past the spring, go about a mile into the woods, and come to a construction zone. It was the type with a flagger to move you on once incoming traffic passes. So I'm sitting at this construction site. The man holding the stop sign is hiding behind his stop sign. I find this odd. A few cars go by, everything is normal, and then he flips his sign to signal me to go ahead, so I drive through the site. I'm driving what seems like several minutes, and suddenly, I'm back at the stop sign from Bitney Springs Road, facing the T of Rough and Ready Highway. I'm totally confused because this is not the direction that I was driving. In fact, it was the complete opposite direction. So I turn left onto R&R and see if it really is that road, and it is. So I turn back around and head back to Bitney. I turn right onto Bitney, past the spring, and come back up to the construction site, and it's all flipped backwards. The man who was originally in the front is now at the rear end of the construction site. I pass through and head back the normal way up to the 49, completely confused as to what just happened. And this is the weirdest and most confusing experience of my life so far. this is small, but I read these a lot, and this happened to me the other day, and I immediately decided it was a glitch. But essentially, I had to go to Home Depot to buy some washers so I could install drawer knobs, and it took me a while, but I found the perfect ones. I bought 2 packs of 3 washers, and when I was at checkout, one of my friends called me, stressed about college, so I picked up her call and finished checking out. As I was leaving the store, I mentioned to her something along the lines of, "Sorry, I was just checking out at Home Depot. I had to buy these stupid 1 1/4 inch washers for my stupid drawers." And I remember looking at the washers on my way to my car to read her the dimensions, knowing that it was completely irrelevant to her, but I'm no handyman, so anything hardware related is completely alien to me. Anyways, I got to my car and spoke with her for a while, before actually turning my car on and hanging up. For some reason, I double-checked to make sure that I had everything. Wallet, phone, keys, but no washers. I presumed they fell or I misplaced them, so I searched all around the inside of the car, and later even the outside, but every single crack and crevice had no evidence of these stupid little orange bags with stupid little metal circles in them. I began freaking out because where could they have gone? I knew I brought them into my car. I decided I had absolutely lost my mind and went back in to buy more. At least I knew where to find them. I get back to the hardware aisle, and the guy who checked me out came up to me with 2 little orange baggies in his hand and said, "Hey, did you leave these here?" And I almost started crying. I asked him if he found them outside, and he said no. I had just left them on the counter. I specifically recall looking at the package as I was halfway to my car in the parking lot, but apparently not. So, yeah, I'm losing my mind, and that is such a minor accident, but is there any other explanation, or am I just going mental? Well then, that was a fantastic little collection of Glitch in the Matrix stories. Always a good time reading some Glitch stories. I absolutely love these stories. I don't know what it is about them, but they just, I don't know, they do different than other stories. I love my paranormal and creepy encounters and such, but Glitch in the Matrix stories just, there's just something magical about them. I don't know. I hope you all enjoyed them. And if you did, I would really appreciate it if you would comment down below and let me know what your favorite story was in this. My comment section's been feeling a little empty lately, so I kind of want to fix that. So tell me what your favorite story was down below. I would love to know what you thought. If you want more videos like this, or videos that are so different, it's like trying to compare things like bananas and sponges, and I don't mean yellow sponges that live under the sea, because they would both be yellow, so comparing them would actually be reasonable. I'm talking like blue dish sponges. I'm using a random item generator. Please don't comment that was a terrible comparison. Please do consider joining the Nevermore, though. To do so, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button, bell icon next to it, makes you part of the Nevermore. You can support the Nevermore by following me on any of the social medias listed down below, supporting the channel over Patreon or Ko-fi, or checking out the website, astheravendreams.com. All of this is optional, and every single bit of it is genuinely appreciated. That all said, I hope that you all are having a great week. I am tired. I think it's the changing weather. It's a lovely October day. It's like 45 degrees at most. Gray, rainy, just perfect. I love it so much, but I am tired. Exhausted even. Should probably go to bed earlier if I'm going to keep waking up at like 5:30. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, much love, and of course, sleep well.